Okay, so welcome to day 5, and today we're going to talk about the last email in the series. So the first email was to the whole list, and that invited people to join the wait list. The second email was also to the whole list to say thank you who've responded, but also to contain lots of information for the people who've responded, but that we hope would then prompt anyone who's got any mild objections to booking you to see that actually everything's in place and you're as COVID secure as you can be. And it might reassure some people to then come and join the list. So today we're going to talk about the last email in the series. And you are going to send this email to the whole group again. And the point of this email is to try and round up the last few objections, but not just to try and, force them to come in or whatever way people might see it. It's actually to help them, okay? And to remind them, first of all, that you're there for them. Second of all, how amazing you are and how clever you are and how much you can help them. But also to still enable you to provide some kind of service for those people. Because there will be people who will be battering your door down if they could, but they can't because they're shielding still. Or, they've had COVID and they're really, really struggling with their energy, with their memory, whatever it might be. They might have long COVID and they just don't feel comfortable coming in, or, for all these different reasons. So I know what therapists are like. I know what my therapists are like who work with me. Your overriding desire is to help people. So I really want you to see this last email as actually a pretty wonderful thing, that really sits well with your ethos of how you run your practice. Because in the last email, and I'm saying this carefully as I know this will terrify the life out of some people, you're going to invite everyone to a live Q&A with you. And that's going to be on Zoom. So we've already discussed earlier in the series that everyone in the world, I think, has now got a Zoom account of some sort. It's set up in some way. With a Zoom account, just to clarify this for people, if you're at the moment, and bear in mind things always change. So at the moment, if you're with somebody one-on-one, to my knowledge, there's no time limit. So if you're doing a face-to-face one-on-one with one client, there's no time limit to your Zoom in the free version. But the minute it's more than one-on-one, so even if it was me with 2 people, there's a 40-minute time limit. But you can get a hell of a lot done in 40 minutes. So even if you're not in a position or you don't feel like you want to pay for Zoom yet, then you can still get a great Q&A done in 40 minutes. And if necessary, you schedule another one. Okay? So, and this kind of also ties in. One of the questions that we had on the group, on Blend Friends Forever group, when we first launched the series, was people really wanted to know how to get more clients. And I'm going to tell you something about that at the end of this video, but this is one way. Yeah, you can have Q&As, you can run Q&As for your own clients, and even clients that haven't been in for years might then be prompted once they see you and they hear you talking again to come back. So your email, you're going to invite everyone on your list to a live Q&A with you. I would do it for, I would do it probably for next week. So by that, I mean, if we're returning to work and we're aiming to return, let's say the 6th or the 7th, the 13th or 14th, to give people a bit of leeway, then you want to do it about a week before, if not a bit sooner. Yeah? Because you've already got people on the list. So I presume that week is already filling up, your first week back. So you're just trying to now get the others in after that. And just a really simple email. Again, you can mention, just want to say thank you again to everyone else who's responded. Remind them, please do go back and check the last email that I sent, so that you're all au fait with what's going to happen when you come to the practice, and what we expect from you and what we expect from us and all that kind of thing. And then you can say, but I'm now inviting you all to come and have a chat with me on Zoom. We're going to have a big old catch up, a live Q&A for anyone, whether you have got on the wait list and you've got questions about that. Let's have a chance to have a little catch up. Or even if you're not booked on the wait list because it's not for you at the moment, please come and join us so we can catch up with you anyway, and it'll give you an answer to a chance to ask those questions that you might have about when you are ready to return. And you could also even entice them with a little bit of and if you're not able to get into me in April for whatever reason, it's also a chance for you to ask me for some advice on what we can do, what you can do at home to help you. Now, the thing is that they are already your clients. Okay, so all the thing around compliance with online working, etc. Obviously, you've got to have everything in place. You should be insured anyway for online working because you're going to be doing online consultations. So all that should ideally be in place. And one of the kind of compliance things is you can't teach. So here's the thing: you can't teach them anything physical. You can't teach them, stretching exercises or whatever, unless you've done a intake form with them. Well, they're all your clients. Yeah, so you would obviously use your common sense within that Q&A and think, I'm not going to let Mary do this because that's not a good idea for Mary to do. Yeah, so in the Q&A, you would probably be best keeping your advice to, general advice rather than teaching them physical things just to avoid any issues. And this is one of the things that really came out at the beginning of the pandemic that an awful lot of therapists were not aware of, which is you should not be creating videos teaching techniques of any sort that you then allow to be in the public domain, so with no control. So that's your Facebook profile, your Facebook business page, your YouTube channel, your Vimeo channel, anywhere at all. If you're putting out videos like that, where anyone in the world could pop along and see it and do it and potentially hurt themselves, that's classed as a media and publishing risk, and you are not insured for that, unless you go and pay whatever it takes to be insured for that. But that is not, so that was one of the big things in the pandemic, because a lot of people jumped online with the biggest hearts in the world and just going, hey, do this. And I was sitting there in abject horror and talking to the insurance company who were like, no, it's a media and publishing risk. So you're going to do your email, and I'm not going to write the email for you. You write it in your own voice, but you get the gist. This is the final mopping up. Thank you to everyone. Thank you to the rest of the people who've now booked in onto the wait list. That's great. We'll be in touch with you on the 6th. Please do go back and check the previous email if you need any reassurance or advice on what to expect. However, we're inviting everyone to a live Q&A with me on such a date, such a time. Set up your Zoom meeting first in Zoom. You can drop that link in the email so they've all got the link. And then with a bit of luck, you'll get people coming because it's a free Q&A. So people who aren't going to book in will come, and it just gives you another chance to reach out to those. Now, what I would say to you about using your Zoom and creating your meeting in Zoom is to make sure that you can go into your settings in Zoom and you can make it so that names are not visible. Yeah. And you're not going to share this Q&A anyway. So it's just going to be with the people in the room. And you can obviously say, like I do when I'm doing a Zoom and I'm going to record it. If I am going to use it anyway, I'll say to people, I am going to record this and it is going to be out there in the world. So if you don't want to be recorded, then you can leave now. And you can watch the recording later. But there is a possibility you can go into your Zoom settings so that the names don't show. And then people might feel a bit more comfortable being on screen if it hasn't got the name, because you've got to also be aware it isn't just a GDPR thing. There might be people who've had incidents in the past where they've been stalked or, had, horrible things happen to them and they really don't want the name on show. So set up your Zoom meeting, copy the link into the email, send that email to your whole list and run a Q&A. And then it's up to you. If you did that for next week and you've still got, at least another week to go and it's a huge hit and loads of people come, if you then want to set up another one with people whereby you're going to give them some, it's just going to be about advice for the conditions, then you can. But again, just be very, very careful what you teach within that session, that stays within whatever your remit is. But it's a great way of then maybe encouraging them to come back and actually book in with you one-to-one. And what I would say as well in that Q&A, that's a great time to bust through that final objection of the people who are shielding, scared, just don't want to go out, just don't want to come in to see, you know, for all the worries that they have. Because that's the point where you could then say, you know, I can see you online. I don't want anyone to suffer. You don't have to suffer. You can book in with me online. We can do a great, and look how great this is now. We're on Zoom, and you know, so you might just get some people booking online. So that's the email, and that was it really. So that's the session for today. And I just wanted to say to people that we had a lot of questions, as I said, on day one. People do still want help and advice with building the practice, with getting more clients, things like pricing and packages. We're going to talk about pricing and packages tomorrow. It's the last one in the series. So your task for today is to, even if you just create that email, don't send it yet. If you feel like, you know, you're not in that stream yet, you can create the email, have it ready to go. At least that's the job done today. And I would also like you to start thinking about your pricing. What do you charge now? Does that need to change? Because this is a return after a big change in your business. So people do kind of expect things to change. So you can have a think about that. And in the day 6 of the series, I will be talking about the pricing, especially taking into account, you know, the additional online work and etc. But for all of you who had the questions around getting more clients, building your practice, being more financially secure, I'm going to be running a free to you guys 3-day training from the 14th of April and how to do all of that. Because it's not something we can cover in a 15-minute video. It's a big subject, and I've got lots of things to share with you and how to do that. So watch out for that. There will be links etc. available on my Facebook and in the group to come and join that. So please do put that time aside and come and join us on those trainings in April. And that's that for today. And then tomorrow we will be talking about pricing and packages.